This is a tutorial on how to use Bitmex. Bitmex is a Bitcoin derivatives exchange. It allows you to trade futures contracts. All profits are locked in and denominated in Bitcoins, and you can only withdraw and deposit Bitcoins onto this exchange. That said, because these are synthetic future contracts, you can get exposure to other cryptocurrencies, as well as trading a contract that's similar to the Bitcoin USD market. So the very first thing that you're going to want to do is click the link below this video, because by using this link you're going to save about 10% off of 6 months worth of trading fees, and fees do add up if you do trade frequently, so it's important to save as much money as you can on that. Once you register an account, you're obviously going to make sure you have a strong password. And the very first thing you want to do is come over here to account and security and activate two-factor authentication. I just generally use Google Authenticator. So you take a picture of this QR code from the Google Authenticator app, and then you submit the code that it gives you. This acts as like a secondary password. Let's say someone were to crack your password. They can't get access to your account without actually physically controlling your phone. So once you have all that set up, you can just go ahead and deposit money into your deposit address. It takes about one confirmation for it to show up. And the very first thing we're going to talk about is their most liquid market, which is the Bitcoin perpetual swap. Now this gives you up to 50x leverage, but you have to be very careful with leverage, because obviously the more leverage you use, the less wiggle room you have for the price to move against you. So use it sparingly, but you can go up to 50x leverage. These contracts operate as a perpetual swap, and so what they did is they made these contracts to kind of mimic regular margin trading, like the type of thing you would see on Bitfinex. So one contract is equivalent to $1 worth of Bitcoin. So if I were to put in, 585 contracts, it would show my order value as pretty close to 1 Bitcoin, right? So that's pretty much the same as you'd see on other exchanges. You have all the other features as other exchanges, such as placing a market order, which will just execute your price at the best market price. Limit order, which is will execute at the price that you set, and then you can set stops, stop limit, stop market, and trailing stops. So it gives you all those features similar to other exchanges. One thing that's different is that you can either use cross leverage or you can isolate leverage, right? Cross will just allow you to put whatever amount you want up to what you're capable of maxing out your leverage. So isolated leverage, so this, if you just keep it on cross, it'll just operate normally, right? And you could just basically put in whatever leverage you want. So if you were to put in $5,800 worth, it'll show you exactly what the order value is. So that'll show as roughly 9 Bitcoins. It's not going to show me what my leverage is, how much leverage that I'm using, because I don't have anything deposited in this account. It's just a test account. Or you could use isolated leverage. And what isolated leverage will do is it will take your order and it'll isolate it from the rest of your account, right? So it'll act as if you do like 10x. And let's say you have, let me give you an example here. Let's say you have 1 Bitcoin in your account, right? Let's just keep this simple. And you were to do 10x on $50 worth of Bitcoin. Well, your 1 Bitcoin would give you, $586 worth of Bitcoin. If you were to buy 50 contracts, that would isolate that 50 contracts from the rest of your account and act as if you went 10x on that. So if the market moves against you, certain percentage, those 50 contracts will get liquidated, but it won't damage the rest of your account. So it's almost kind of like setting a stop order in a sense. Maybe even tighter than a stop order. Personally, myself, I just use cross, and I just put whatever leverage I want. So the perpetual swap contracts, the way those work is they do have fees, funding fees similar to margins, and the way that works is that margin longs pay the swap fees to margin shorts, right? Short positions. So you could actually build a strategy around that. So for example, if the market ever goes parabolic or becomes overextended, and you get a really nice short entry, and you get to hold it for a long time, you could actually earn some passive income by collecting this swap fee. So not only would you be in a trade, but you'd also be accruing fees, and those fees are paid 3 times a day, pretty much every 8 hours. These perpetual swap contracts also do have a daily settlement time. Usually futures contracts, as you can see here in this one, usually futures contracts will have a date where they settle, and that's when the contract closes. With perpetual swap, your position will stay open just like it would with regular margin trading. The only difference is that your realized profit and loss will be locked in every day at 12 p.m. coordinated universal time, right? So if you're in a really good position, you could actually start to lock in profit every day on that position. So basically, that's the perpetual swap 50x. You also have these longer futures contracts. So this one expires on 30th of September, the 25th. So this is a bit different. You don't pay any of the swap fees every day. You basically just you go long or short, and then it settles, and it'll show you kind of the settlement price, right? The index price, and they do that on based on a weighted average, right? So they'll actually calculate that to make it fair, so that people don't try to game the system by pumping the market before a settlement date or dumping, stuff like that. They'll do it as a weighted average across multiple different exchanges. And so you also have other markets as well. You have you could trade Bitcoin against the yen. You could trade Ethereum. The Ethereum trading operates just the same way you would trade on any other exchange. It's just the price of Ethereum paired against Bitcoin. And they offer up to 33.3 leverage. They also have Ethereum Classic, which offers 10x leverage. And these settle every Friday. The Ethereum ones are a perpetual swap, so they're similar to the ones we showed before. Litecoin is also a perpetual swap. Lisk, same thing, perpetual swap. Factum, 10x leverage, perpetual swap. Then they have you can trade on the Chinese markets, although there's not a lot of activity happening here, so I haven't really bothered trading that. And they have this Bitfinex token. So the tokens that Bitfinex issued out as a result of getting hacked, you could speculate on those without actually needing to purchase any of that debt or those tokens. And those expire in August, and they offer 2.5x leverage with that. So that's pretty much it. That's Bitmex in a nutshell. You also that's how you would trade on it. You also have a chat box right here, troll box, and usually Bitmex Sam's on here, so you can ask any questions you want or make comments talk with other traders. You know, you also have positions, so it'll show your positions, the size, value, entry price, mark price. You know what the market price is right now. The liquidation price. You know, if you're using leverage, the market moves past you, past a certain point at your liquidation price, then you'll get liquidated and your position will get closed out and you'll lose money. So you want to make sure that you don't get liquidated. You know, it'll show you your unrealized profit and loss, your realized profit and loss, and you know, your closed positions. So you can also look at your closed positions here, whatever active orders you have, your stop orders, and your order history, all that stuff. So hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to click the link at the bottom of the video, open up an account, test it out. I recommend, you know, when you're just starting off, just practice with small amounts to become familiar with this before you know, before trading size. Also, if you have any questions about anything, they also have a whole bunch of tutorials here. So they've got their margin trading guides and everything here, and support is also very helpful. So hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.